So welcome back to the next episode of Meet the Pros. Today we're meeting with Jay Borenstein of Borenstein Plumbing that's been around since 1926. Jay is a fourth generation plumber and he's here today to talk to us about our sump pump systems and the maintenance of our hot water tanks as well. So Jay, thank you so much for joining us today. So please help us through what do we do to maintain our sump pumps to make sure we don't get a flood, and how do we check on our hot water tanks as well?
So basically with sump pumps, if you've got two types of systems. You've got a closed system, which is for your sanitary system, and that's if you're running with a basement that is below grade. For example, septic systems, or even some of the places that they have in downtown Montreal. The other system that we're going to be speaking primarily about is going to be the pluvial system. And that is the one that controls the water that comes in from your French drains. Some people have pits in their basement, some people have them in the garages, anywhere that you would have this fresh, clean water coming in and not being directly exited to the city system, you may have a pump. If you have a pump, our general suggestion is when buying a home, make sure that you have somebody come in and check it. You can also look at the top of the pumps to find dates, manufacturers, serial numbers, et cetera, so that you can find out how old the pump is. And obviously after 10 years, it would be in your best interest, both personally and financially, to replace those pumps. So this way you don't have a chance of having one of those emergencies. One of the other things we like to do is also to advise you to put on an alarm. An alarm is always useful. This way, if the water level rises, you get a notification before your basement gets flooded.
That's actually really good to have, because that's, when you go on vacation, as an example, you're leaving the home
That's
for
correct.
a week or two, maybe somebody's coming to check in every now and then. And to get an alarm to your phone, essentially, just to say, hey, you got water hitting critical levels, pay attention. That's actually
Exactly.
great advice, that's for sure.
We have people who have emergency backup systems that are run off nautical batteries. And those systems are great. But again, after a 4-day stretch, not even those are going to hold up.
I hear you. And it's better to be safe than sorry, especially when it comes to water. The water, I believe, is the biggest damage in homes, according to the insurance companies. So
yes, it is.
And to that point, the hot water tank, we have this 40 or 60 gallon reservoir of water in our
monstrosity.
Absolutely. Exactly. And what happens when that fails, or how do we make sure it doesn't fail?
So the first thing you want to do is you want to be able to check the label on the front of the hot water tank. That'll tell you how big the hot water tank is. And if you send that to your local plumber, they'll be able to tell you how old the hot water tank is. Most of the insurance companies these days, they really prefer if you change your hot water tank after 10 years. What we do is we make sure that it's possible for you to send us that information and give you the date and when it was installed, and then possibly when you should replace it. It's always easiest if a plumber writes the date of installation on the tank, and then about 10 years later to replace it. Now, a number of years ago, it was always told that flushing your tank was always the best for it. We don't do that anymore.
Well, ain't that the truth? It's what used to be a good idea turns out, after a little bit of research, not so much, eh?
Exactly.
Perfect. So the best thing to do, quite honestly, is just as you get close to that 10-year mark, is to give Borenstein Plumbing a call, have you guys come in, change your tank, and that way that it's done properly, professionally, and you won't have problems moving forward. And while you're there, you can take a look at the sump pump system too.
Exactly. One of the things that I heard you mention was emergencies if you were on vacation. I wanted to also let you know that recently we have been installing a lot of solenoid valves on people's mains. That's with the attachment, be a Wi-Fi or not, to special sensors that you would put all over the home. And if ever you have a toilet that leaks or a pipe that's leaking through somewhere and it hits these sensors, it automatically closes the solenoid valve in order to protect your home.
Well, that's amazing. When I bought my first home, the biggest plumbing experience I had was putting a bucket underneath a leak. So, we've come a long way. That's amazing.
We have.
Awesome. Hey, Jay, thank you so much for sharing this great information with us today. I'm going to attach all your contact info to this video. So if anybody has any more questions for you, they want to get in touch with you, or they want you to come take a look at their home, all your info is there, and I'm sure you'll be able to take great care of them.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for your time, Paul.